Jody. I'm an alcoholic. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. Tonight we got someone very special. I know a lot of us haven't heard his story. My old boss used to say when we get people to meetings that it was like herding cats, and I always wondered what one would look like. So I finally met a cat herder because he has to deal with all these crazy cats all the time and gets them to meetings on time. Paul, come on up.
Yeah.
Ooh, I knew this was going to happen eventually, right? I will be now. I forgot everything I was going to say. Now, my name's Paul. I'm an alcoholic. I identify as an alcoholic. I tell you what. I could go a little bit further, but I ain't going to do it. Y'all called my sponsor right before I come here, right? And I wanted some words of wisdom. He said, Paul, nobody knows your story better than you, right? Just come up here and be honest, right? And that's what I'm up here to do, right? Tell my story and be honest. Funny story, all right? Listen to this, y'all. So I get a text today from a good friend, right? Right before lunch. Billy T. He says, $10 for every cuss word I say from behind the podium, right? So I text Billy back, I said, well, hell, I'm going to start $100 in the hole then, right? And I was wondering where that come from, right? Because, you know, I do cuss, and it all originated from, I dropped the F-bomb at the Hill Group when I was picking up my 18-month chip, right? And I said it was going to come out with parentheses, right? You know what I mean? It was loud. And we started talking about it, and, you know, I cussed because of the chaotic lifestyle I was living, right? The people I was around, drugs and alcoholics, right? And I thought that I had to cuss to get my point across a lot better, right? I thought I had to cuss to sound funnier, right? I thought I had to cuss, to be serious, right? But I don't have to do that behind this podium tonight, right? All I got to do is share my experience, strength, and hope, and hopefully something I have in here will help somebody out there, right? All right, so with that being said, y'all nervous AF, you hear me? I curtailed that one, didn't I, right? I kid you not, right? All right. Whew. I'm trying to loosen up, Hey, y'all, look here, my ex-wife, man, she used to tell me jokes all the time, right? And I remember one night, she told me a joke. It was probably a stupid joke, right? I wasn't going to laugh anyway, right? But she looked right at me and she said, you never laugh at anything. She goes, you're numb inside. And she was right. You know what I mean when I think about it now, right? There was no joy in my life. There was no happiness in my life. The only thing I had to look forward to was waking up in the morning and doing whatever it took to get me through the day, right? And thanks to the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps, it's not like that anymore, right? How did I get here from there? Maybe I'll cover that in my story, right? We'll see. All right, y'all, so I was born and raised in Brunswick, Georgia. Y'all don't know where that's at? That's 1 hour north of Jacksonville, Florida, 1 hour south of Savannah, Georgia, off I-95, right? My mom and dad, they didn't drink, they didn't smoke. They were real good parents. We got everything we needed from my dad. We got all the love we needed from my mama, and that's the way it was. Y'all, we grew up with the belt, and the older I got, the more I realized I got 3 brothers, right? 1 older and 2 younger. And I always say we grew up with the belt, and the older I got, I realized, I was the only one who got the belt, right? My brothers never did, right? Because I was just straight up a bad kid, right? Bad from a little kid, bad as a teenager, and then just burned it all down as an adult, right? And it started young. I'll touch on my school days real quick, right? So my parents wanted me to have the best education possible, right? So they put me and my brothers in a Christian school, Free Will Baptist, Brunswick Christian Academy, right? I hated that school, right? I had to have a chili bowl haircut, right? I mean, I hated it. All my friends were going to public schools. These cats had long hair, you know what I mean? I had to wear corduroy pants. I didn't have to. That's all my mother would buy me. Every color on the freaking color wheel, right? 2 sizes too big, right? I'm always walking around with a constant fear of a friction fryer blowing up between my legs. You know what I mean? The pants are so freaking big, right? But I remember Mama told me one time, she goes, this is in kindergarten now, right? She said the teacher came out and she goes, Miss Pitts, she goes, unless you can learn to control your son, you're going to have to take him out of his school and put him in public schools. And that was when I was 5 years old. I didn't ever got any better, right? In the 4th grade, I still stuck around for the school because they were determined, right? In the 4th grade, y'all, this is how it was. It was a single-story hotel. You see them all the time on these county roads and, you know what I'm talking about, little city highways. Old abandoned, not abandoned, but it was a single-story hotel that they turned into a school, right? My 4th grade year, there was 2 rooms, right? The room was on this side, and they had tore out a third of the wall, right? And the teacher's desk would be right here, and then the other room was right there, right? With the classroom set on this side, and in the room by itself, with a desk facing the wall, where I could only see the teachers where I sat. And I sat there for the entire 4th grade year, right? The only time I could mingle with the rest of my classmates was during recess, right? Because I was pure hell. You know what I mean? I remember I got a paddling one day, I locked the teacher out of the room. They had to go to the principal's office, get her key to unlock the door, because I was just sitting there laughing at them, right? I didn't care, right? I hated that school, I did not want to be there, and I was just bad. It finally come to a head in the 6th grade. A friend of mine brought a gun to school. Me and him went out to the ditch, fired a few rounds. He got expelled, and I got suspended for a long time. And my mom and dad let me know, this is the last year, you can go to public school in the 7th grade, right? And I was like, hell yeah, fine, right? I get to go to public school, right? Y'all, shit you not. I fell asleep on a Friday, right? Woke up Monday for the first day of school, had a pair of blue jeans on and a mullet. Son, I had arrived, right? I was good to go, right? I was good to go. And I loved it, right? But I was a badass little kid, right? Kept on skipping school. I really didn't start drinking or anything, I dabbled in. I remember one day we ride our bicycle to school, you know what I mean? Because I stayed outside. That's what I did. I stayed outside. I rode skateboards. I rode BMX. I raced BMX, That's another thing, I was always in trouble because I could never make it home for dinner. Back then we had lunch at the dinner table at 12 o'clock. And we had dinner at night at 6 o'clock. The family sat at the table. And 99.9% of the time I was always late, right? So I was always in restriction, right? But, hell, I lost my train of thought. Give me 1 second. It ain't come to me yet. Oh, good Lord. Nerves, right? But we'd sit around, and my friends who was 7th grade, and his mom was Hispanic, right? She taught linguists at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. So we all sat down, probably me and 3 or 4 of my friends, and we emptied out every piece of liquor, every liquor bottle she had underneath the cabinet, right? And we all sat around and took a shot, right? And I'm pretty sure I got drunk, but that wasn't the first drunk that I realized, right? My first drunk, y'all, was, y'all, I'm gonna get very graphic, right? I'm gonna try to keep it PG-13, but I had an experience on my first drunk, right? It was the first weekend of school, right? It was a house party. It was in my neighborhood, right? Y'all, I just got my car, 79 Z28, 350 built, right? Hadn't got in on insurance on it yet, so I couldn't drive it. I probably would have got my first DUI that night, anyway. But we had at my friend's house, and right around the corner, man, it was a lot of people there, right? A lot of pretty girls there, and I got drunk. And I got drunk on vodka, right? And I'll get to that a little bit later, right? And I got drunk to the point where I was hitting on every girl at the party, right? Getting rejected by every girl, right? I got ran over that night by a car, right? And at the end of the night, I remember I just started shooting Gatorade and vodka because I didn't think I was still drunk, right? And at the end of the night, which I found out later, right? I defecated on myself, right? All over myself, to the point 2 of my friends had to give me a bath, right? I think one of them was bisexual. I'm just going to put that out there, right? A hard pill to swallow there for a while. You know, and this is high school, so you know when I went to school Monday, everybody knew what happened to Paul, right? Well, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with an old raggedy t-shirt on, a pair of shorty shorts, and I was wrapped up in a pink blanket in the back of my parents' caravan, right? I walked to the front door, my dad opened it up, he goes, just what I thought, Debbie, drunk as hell. My parents knew, right? And y'all, I was sick as a dog for 3 days, so I didn't have this, oh, I love this experience, right? I had this, I was sick, and I was still praying to baby Jesus 3 days later, right, trying to help me feel better. So my mama got worried, right, because I was getting real dehydrated, so she had a good idea. She was going to get an old suppository for Paul, right? Y'all, I didn't know what it was, right? I figured I'd fill up my glass of water, you know what I mean, pop it in my mouth, swallow it, and Mama come back. She goes, oh, no, baby. She goes, that's not the way you take that. She goes, you got to take it like, I said, huh? Right? So I keistered that guy, right? You know? I bit that old, what they call that old proverbial bullet, and did it, right? Hey, and it's crazy the things you remember, right? That son of a bitch made me feel great. You hear me? All the dehydration and everything. Man, I wouldn't recommend it, you know what I mean? But, you know, that'd be a hell of a thing to get damn addicted to, right? That would be a little awkward, right? So, but, you know, it worked great, it served its purpose, right? And, man, I'm about to lose my train of thought again. All right. So, y'all, normal people would say, man, I had enough of it, right? I mean, that was my first night ever getting drunk. I went through all that, right? But I knew what the problem was, right? Y'all, I didn't never drink white liquor again. I stayed away from the vodka because it was the vodka that did that to me that night, right? I started drinking Seagram's VO and Seagram's Gin. Seagram's 7, right? And it was the way I was drinking, right? I was drinking just a little too fast, right? Because I continued to do it for the next 30 plus years, y'all, and it progressively got worse, and I added more and more stuff to it, right, to make change the way I feel, right? The following weekend, hey, you know, I learned 3 things about myself the following weekend. We wanted to have another party. It was a Sunday. They weren't selling alcohol in the state of Georgia in 1986 on Sunday, right? You had to go to the county line. You had to go to Casey's, right? So we had a good idea. We was going to have a Mad Dog 2020 party. But what we were going to do, we were going to go to Kroger's, and we were all going to steal fist of Mad Dog 2020, right? Funny thing about that is I came out with 5 fists and my friends came out with nothing, right? I was the only one who stole anything, right? But I learned right then, right? I was a people pleaser. I would do anything to get what I wanted. And I didn't care about the consequences, right? And my whole life, consequences, all that was something that the judge dealt to me when I was standing in front of him, right? Y'all, got my first DUI when I was 16 in high school, y'all. I got my first dope charge when I was 18, 2 weeks before I graduated. My mama didn't want me to graduate. I mean, I didn't want to graduate. I was embarrassed. They put it in the paper, and I did it basically for my mama because I drug her, right? I drugged my mama through my addiction for 30 years until her day she died. I mean, I can relate to Ronnie Bonner's story. I'm sorry, R.B. Ronnie B's story, man, when he talks about the way he did his mama, right? And I can't even make that amends to her face, right, because she's passed away now. That's what living amends are for, right? Mom used to tell me all the time, she said, baby, I just want to live long enough to see you be able to take care of yourself. Well, she can see it today, right? She's a smart woman. So, first dope charge, y'all got 7 DUIs total, right? I got 3 of them back to back to back in 1996. I went to work with my dad straight out of high school. It was a family business, right? Established my granddad in 1947. I was 3rd generation. I was going to take it over. Negative, right? He fired me at least 40 times, right? I remember he told me one morning, Paul, if you're late again, you just keep on driving. So I was 5 minutes late on purpose, right? I did a U-turn in front of the shop, went back home, got back in bed, and Mama said, Daddy called, said, get your ass to work, boy. So that didn't work, right? I tried. But, y'all, my daddy used to tell me all the time, man, how selfish I was, but I never seen it, right? Because to me, I never hurt anybody but myself, right? Y'all used to tell me, man, he'd say, Paul, you don't never, all you ever do is react to situations, right? All you do is react. And I started thinking about that not too long ago, right? And it makes sense, right? Because if I'm reacting to a situation, then the only person I'm thinking about is me, right? Because if I take time to think about what the situation is, put thought into it before I react, Well, that means I might have to be thinking about somebody else's sickness and the way it affects somebody else, right? And I never wanted to do that. All I wanted to do was take care of number one, and that's me, right? Oh, y'all, let me see what I'm working with. Oh, yeah. Y'all got a shit pot full of drunk logs, right? Like a Rolodex full, right? And one of my buddies, I'm gonna call everybody by the first, middle, and last name, right? I gotta watch. I'm a little nervous. I got a special request for one of them, right? And I'm rambling. I'm probably jumping all over the place, but you know, it'll be okay. This is horrible, y'all. It's kind of funny, but when you think about it, it's sad, y'all. I always hear about people behind the podium talking about they were raised by parents who were alcoholics and drug addicts, right? And I was one of those parents. I got 3 wonderful boys, and none of them are like me. Matter of fact, I just took one of them to Jacksonville. He joined the U.S. Navy. He flew out for boot camp last 2 weeks ago Wednesday, right? Boy, we've been talking about it for 8 years, right? I'm as proud as I can be. You hear me? I got another son, smart as a whip, fixing to go to college next year, and I got a 9-year-old who really hasn't seen a whole lot of me drinking, right? So, I used to sit right there, right? I'd be sitting in the living room. This is my crack smoking years, right? This is during my crack smoking years. I'd be sitting on the couch, right? And I guess Tristan was probably 9 or 10. Marcus was 9. You know, I got a son named Gary, right? He's been calling me daddy since he was 3 years old, right? He's a product of a deadbeat dad. And I consider him one of my child too, right? So they were all in there, and I hit mute, and I was jonesing for some crack, right? Well, let me tell you, crack will take you down through there. And if you're a crackhead out there, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about, right? The Jones is unreal. So I run out, and I'm thinking, what the hell can I do? And I've done this before, right? So I hit mute on the TV, and I looked at the boys. I said, shit, y'all, the volume just tore up on the TV. I said, Daddy got to take it and get it fixed, right? But I already knew I could get $300 from the pawn shop for it, because I already did it before, right? So I loaded that damn TV up, right? Took it to the pawn shop. But I had a good scam going, right? I would take that son of a gun to the pawn shop. I'd get my $300. I'd take 75 of it, run to Aaron's Rent-A-Center, rent another TV, buy $225 for crack and beer, run back to the house, and I'd put the rented TV on the damn TV stand, right? My wife would come home, and I'd try to convince her, that's the same TV, woman. What are you talking about? That's our TV. Hey, our TV said Sony, this joker said LG, right? But I was like, that's our TV. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Y'all, I did that a bunch. Because, you know, I paid for that TV, right? That was my TV. I could do what I want to with it, right? And, man, finally I just knew, man, what was going to happen. She was going to bitch. I was going to get over it. I was going to smoke crack. That's it, right? I could get the TV back later, but I never got the TV back. It was always my mama getting the things out for me, right? It was always my mama. I'd run to my mama. I was enabled my whole career, right? I can't remember hardly any days when I didn't get what I wanted, because I could run to mama and get her money, or I'd run to daddy and get his money. And if daddy wouldn't give it to me, I'd go through mama to get daddy's money, right? I'd drug my mom. All right. Y'all, finally one day I'm riding around in a pickup truck, which, you know, no license, no nothing. And it hit me all of a sudden, right? And I was thinking, I was like, I used the alcohol to get off the cocaine. I used the alcohol to get off the crack. I used the alcohol to slow down the pain pills, you know what I mean? But I can't quit drinking. And that's the first realization I had, that I was powerless over alcohol, right? Because y'all, all my drinking career, forever, I thought that I could quit when I wanted to, right? And let me tell you, when you are thoroughly convinced that you can quit drinking when you want to, well, that gives me the green light to drink whenever I want to, right? Because I don't got to stop today. I can stop a week from now. I can stop 3 years from now, right? So I never felt like I needed to stop drinking, right? Because the day just wasn't a good day, right? I was going to stop on Sunday for 30 years. That's God, right? Yeah, I'm going to wait till Sunday. Y'all, Sunday never came. It was always 7 days ahead of me. You know what I mean? I couldn't ever catch up with it. But I came to that realization, right? I mean, because there was many a nights me looking in the mirror saying, I'm just going to ride this out to the bitter end, right? And there were many a nights like that. But that day in that truck, I realized, I was like, man, I got to have help to quit drinking. But am I willing to reach out and ask for help? That was the question, right? And it wasn't at that time. I did a lot more, you know. I told you I got my last DUI in 96. I went to 20 years later and I got 2 more. One of them I got, I wasn't even drunk. I was in a soma coma and on Valiums, right? Let me tell you this shit, right? So, I'm leaving the house and I already hit my friend's car on the way out. I'm driving the ex-wife's brand new Charger, right? Her dream car, right? So I'm heading to get some crack, right? I'm already in a soma coma, right? I'm already on Valiums, right? And I'm just driving down the road, and this road called a Pearland Road, and it's got guardrails when you go over the creek, right? And I heard boop, and I was thinking, first in my mind, I was like, shit, I gotta buck that out when I get back. So I keep on heading to the crack man's house, right? And I go down this little 2-lane road, and the cop pulls up behind me and pulls me over, right? And he's like, son, what are you doing driving that car? I said, well, sir, what do you mean? Right? And I walked around and looked at the car, and I was like, so that little, I'm going to buff it out later when I get to the house, ended up being $9,000 damage worth of the car, y'all. I had ripped the whole side of the car off from the front quarter panel to the back quarter panel. The fender was dragging the tire and the ground, and I was heading to the dope man's house, right? I was going to fix it when I got to the house, right? And that's the kind of shit I did my whole life, right? It was a long career. Uh-oh. Y'all, tell you what, when my mother died, that was my main enabler. And I used to say all the time, it took my mother dying for me to get sober. And that's not the case, right? You know, what happened was, God took my mama because he was tired of me putting her through hell, right? And he was telling me, hey, it's time to do it on your own, right? You can't be relying on somebody else to pull you out of every bad situation. You know, it's time to grow up. I was 47 years old without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, right? And I had 3 wonderful kids. So, just, you know, I was living on the streets. I was living in the tents. I was living in a camper. And, what's that damn feeling you get when the walls close in on you? Hell yeah, man. I was in that camper. Y'all, you know, it's always God doing for me what I cannot do for myself, right? Because the TV started, it was at my friend's house, and the TV started going out, and I couldn't watch TV, and the walls were closing in on me, so I bounced out of there, and I went and sat on my friend's couch, and I told him, I said, man, I'm fixing to go off to long-term treatment, because I'd already went to detox one time, and that was in January of 2018, this is March. And I thought they had a long-term treatment, but what they had was a women's residential. Everything men was outpatient, and I just got drunk as soon as I got out of 7-day detox. But I said, and you know, plus I couldn't leave my kids, right? I was such a great dad, right? I couldn't leave my kids to go off for a detox, go off for long-term treatment. But I decided to do that, right? I looked at my friend one night and said, man, I'm fixing to go off, I'm going to go back to detox, and I'm going to go off for a year, because I ain't got no other choice, right? And was it all because I was ready to get sober when I come to the foundation the first time? Maybe 70-30, right? I was living on the streets. You know, it's hell when you ain't really got no place to call home, right? You ain't got no mailing address, you got nothing, right? So, I went to the foundation the first time, y'all. I stayed a year, I worked at 12 steps, I completed the program, but I didn't do anything extra for my sobriety, right? You know, if you're at the foundation, they make us go to a certain amount of meetings a week, right? That's mandatory. That's not doing anything extra for my sobriety, right? Billy T used to have a big book study on Wednesday. That's extra, right? Well, that wasn't mandatory. I never went, right? All I wanted to do was what I had to do to complete the 12 months, right? And I thought I was sober. I remember riding on them buses one day coming back to I'll never drink again, right? So I went back to my hometown. Went to a couple meetings, picked them all apart, right? One meeting you could still smoke in. I complained about it being too smoky, right? And here I am smoking 2 packs a day, right? But the meeting was too smoky, right? And I lasted about 3 months, and me and my ex-fiance, I got a bunch of exes, we got in a fight one night, and I know the true meaning of drinking at somebody, right? She pissed me off that night. I caught her resentment. I looked right at her and said, I'm fixing to go get a 5th, right? 16 months sobriety, gone, just like that, without a second thought, right? And somebody like me is not going to walk in off the streets to Alcoholics Anonymous, right? It didn't happen the first time, and it wasn't going to happen this time. I've got to be placed in a structured environment, right? But I've got to put myself there. I've got to be willing to reach out for help and put myself where I need to be to get sober, right? So, God doing for me what I could not do for myself. Y'all, I texted Billy one night, right? Or Billy texted me one night. I might have texted him, right? He said, what you doing? I said, I'm drinking again. Billy goes, come on back to the foundation. And I texted him back, y'all. I said, man, it just ain't bad enough yet, right? I still was sitting in my truck. I had a few club tails in my truck with me. I was sitting at my favorite convenience store. I had a pocket full of pills, a little bit of money, and a roof over my head, right? Small ass world, but I was content with that, right? 8 months later, like I said, God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. I wrecked my truck. I got another DUI. And without a truck, that was it, right? So I made a decision, I'm going to come back to the foundation. Let me tell y'all the big difference between then and now. When I was driving back to the foundation 10 times with Med, y'all, when I used to say I would never drink again the first time, I knew for a fact that I would drink again if I did not take this program serious this time, right? I knew for a fact. When I come back this time, God blessed me with the awareness to know, hey, Paul, you're not doing anything for your program today. You need to do something, right? Because somebody like me is going to get complacent. I'm going to rest on my laurels, and I'm going to drink again, right? And I don't care if that's something little. I text people in the morning. I try to read my big book. But I have the awareness now to know that if I'm not doing nothing for my program, something inside of me says, hey, Paul, you better get busy, right? You know what happened last time. You're going to get drunk again, right? I've got to take this program as seriously as I took my hunting dope, right? If not more. Be willing to go to any lengths, right, from my sobriety. Today, I'm living a wonderful life, y'all. I'm still at the foundation. I've decided I'll be there for 2 years, right? I made a commitment for 2 years. And I love being there. I'm a property manager. I get to help people every day, right? I get to be of some usefulness and service every day, right? I get to do something extra for my program every day, right? I get to go out of my way and help people. And I love my life today, right? The promises have come true. The fear of economic insecurities have left me. Y'all, I intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle me, right? And if I don't, I ask somebody. You hear me? About out of freaking water, you know what I'm saying? A couple drops living this dog. Like I said, I've got a good relationship with my oldest son. My middle son, he still don't talk to me. The things about amends, they may accept your amends 1 minute, then a kid will get mad at you, and then it just goes out the window, right? I haven't talked to him about 6 months, right? But I'm good with my 9-year-old, right? And, yeah, man, y'all, my life has been like a 3-ring circus, right? Without the animals, there's no ring of fire, and probably ain't no big top either, right? But there's still 3 rings, right? This first ring is normal people, right? People who drink for the reasons that the big book tells us, right? Yo, I was in that ring a long time ago, if only for a brief moment, right? In this third ring, you have active addiction, right? This is where I spent the majority of my adult life, right? And right here in the middle, you have the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, I know that I can never go back to this first ring. I've tried it. Book tells us some men have chased it to the depths of insanity, right? I can leave here today and return to active addiction, right? Without no problem. But where I want to be is right here in the middle, right? I want to be right here in the middle of this fellowship, right? We ain't a glum lot, right? I see that, right? And I've experienced joy and happiness in AA. But I'm always fearful that I might wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm just not getting everything out of this that I thought I would, right? There's friendship in AA, right? I see that. I've experienced that. But I'm always fearful, right? Because I'm not good at walking up to anybody and introducing myself, right? There's love in AA, right? I see that everywhere, right? But that means you got to get vulnerable. You put yourself out there, right? And who wants to do that? But I'll tell you what. If I want what the big book tells me, if I want the best days of my life to be ahead of me, I've got to learn how to incorporate all 3 of things into my life, right? And the good thing about that, y'all, is I ain't got to do it but one day at a time. I appreciate it, y'all. That's all I got.